here with Tim Condict with Deer Breeders Corporation out of Mesquite, Texas. Tim, thanks for joining us today. I hear that you are one of the original outfitter guide at Gsell's back in the 80s.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. Back in 1990, Brad Gsell, the owner, Brad and Herb Gsell both came on a hunt with me in northern Oklahoma, and they had just put in this high fence ranch. And after hunting with me, Brad wanted me to come up and run the hunts on his place. And so I started going up there when they first opened the doors on the ranch and doing the hunts on there. Back when the 170s was a monster buck.
Sure.
The whole thing was Brad and Herb were always interested in producing monster frame deer. Mm-hmm. And they've stuck with that at Gsell's Whitetail Refuge even after the passing of both those great gentlemen.
Yeah, and so at Gsell's right now is the Patrick bloodline. So now, fast forward, then you became a deer breeder.
Yes, sir.
On a deer breeding operation in Oklahoma.
That's how I became a deer breeder. Was I went up there and ran the hunts on that place, and I told Brad one time, I said, I wish we could do this in Oklahoma, and he said, you can. And so I went back to Oklahoma and checked out the rules and regulations and found out that I could do it, and purchased my first deer from Brad and Herb Gsell in Pennsylvania, brought them to Oklahoma. And so the Patrick influence was what produced the big monster frames that I had in Oklahoma that I put on my deer.
There you go. So since then, you've been back to the property. Have you noticed the mass and the size and quantity that's well above the 170s nowadays? So tell us about what you saw.
Yes, there's just been a continuous growth on their ranch, and the width and the height, tine length, and the mass and everything else that's been put on the deer since then has all been from those deer back then, though.
Sure.
They're all in those pedigrees back then that started producing bigger and bigger deer, and they stuck with that bloodline, and it just continued to produce tremendous frames on their deer that are really almost unmatched around the country.
Awesome. Well, Tim, thank you for starting Gsell's off on the right foot.
This is one of the best experiences I had in my life, and some of the best friends I ever made were there.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right.